and Michael, and of course there were a million to pick from. So there's a moment when I pick it up and it's actually a picture from our life, you know. So it was one of those things where the lines were blurred between real life and fiction. So yeah, I hope that I'll be able to do some more on his show too. I want to be on all the TV shows.
Growing up in Macon, Georgia, you're a Southerner. What do you bring from that you bring to Arlene? How much of Arlene is based on your own life experiences?
Well, she's not a specific person, but more like a conglomeration of lots of strong women that I grew up with. You know, people who are, you know, single mothers or been, you know, married a million times, like Arlene. But I was able to draw on that and tap into that kind of alarmingly easily, even though I don't have kids, but I just, I feel it's very important to represent her in a really true way, because I know a lot of it is kind of designed to be sort of ridiculed or you know, you kind of laugh with her, at her, you know, she sort of serves up the comic dish on the show, but I try to make sure that I'm honoring, you know, the people that I grew up with in this state, because we's good people, y'all.
You don't have an accent. Did you grow up with it and then lose it, or?
Yeah, I had a really strong accent when I grew up, and when I was growing up, and all you have to do is get me on the phone with my mom, and it's like right back there. But when you know, I started doing theater at a pretty young age, and then I, you know, went to Juilliard, and they just kind of train it out of you so that you can, you know, be able to sound like a million different characters. So sometimes I miss it. But I mean, the irony is that I got it all trained out of me, and then I would say like 90% of what I do are Southern characters. So, you know, I'm kind of have to rethink how to do it. But I mean, I don't, you know, I don't think it was a bad thing that I had to lose it. I think it's actually been a good tool, you know. So I've been able to do, you know, lots of other characters. So.
And you've got people from New Zealand, from Australia, all over the world on this show. What's it like when people step out of character and are suddenly talking their real voices?
Well, I mean, Anna Paquin's probably the best example of that. I mean, she grew up in New Zealand, or well, she's born in New Zealand, grew up in Canada, plays a Southern girl on the show. So she'll talk to me in a neutral American dialect. Then she'll turn to Steven, switch into New Zealand. Then they'll turn on the camera and she'll go into Sookie Southern Louisiana. So it's like, the set's pretty schizophrenic, guys. Yeah, there's a lot of weird dialects and accents flying, and then people come out of it. And I mean, my first table read was interesting because I came in, you know, I jumped on the Moving Train season 3. So I remember coming to the table read and hearing, you know, Ryan Quanten speak the way that he speaks normally. And I'm like, wait a minute, you're not in Vampire Bill, you don't sound like that, you know? So it's kind of funny.
And we'll take some questions from the audience. Sheila?
Hey.
Hey.
I'm so excited all y'all came. It's just so good. I wanted to know, what is your most favorite scene that you shot, or your most memorable? Past season.
Well, probably there are two different ones for completely opposite reasons. Favorite funny scene was the one we shot on Valentine's Day of season 4, which was the naked scene at the lake with Eric and Alcide. I mean, it was me and Alex naked, screaming, "Fuck you, I'll kill you," you know, back and forth, with Anna in the middle, and then my wolf Thunder was like right over there on a chain, and so it was like there was wild animals and nudity and splashing water and fuck yous, and you know, we were just, at some point we just stood and looked at Anna, and me and Alex were just laughing. We were like, "Happy Valentine's Day." So that one was my favorite for fun reasons, and then you know, just for acting reasons. I think, you know, every once in a while as an actor, you read a script and you get that feeling of, ooh man, this scene could be good. And you know, I really I was very happy with you know, the stuff with Debbie's parents in the hotel in season 5, talking to them about what happened to Debbie. I thought that was a cool scene. You know, that was fun.
For me, one of the more funny scenes where I was trying to keep a straight face was with me and Bill in my dream. My dream of Bill. And I always forget that was actually my dream. Like, I created that. This is kind of embarrassing. But we were laughing during that. I mean, those lines were ridiculous. Like, the water's hard. And that was crazy. But I had, I had a lot of fun. God, there've been so many. There were some scenes in season 1 that I got to do with Tara that I really loved. But one of the funnest scenes for me that I got to do was one that I did with you, where I was playing Tommy, and I got to play Tommy as an asshole, and that was a lot of fun. Just getting to do him was a lot of fun, but then getting to do him as a jerk was really fun. So those were mine.
Deadlifting your stunt double was not so much fun for me.
So one of the wilder moments that I've had on the show was season 2, when we were all possessed as zombies, and we had this scene in Merlotte, and there were, I don't know, 50 background people in there, and I had to come in, and Ryan Quanten had to take a nail gun and put it to my head. And first of all, he put his, had to hold me by the kind of neck like this with the arms. And ladies, nice arms, just saying. And then, so we were doing this scene. Now, you have to remember that we are wearing these crazy black contact lenses, and you have no peripheral vision. You couldn't really see very well out of them. So you were feeling really insane. Like, I did feel like an insane person. And, at one point we were doing the scene like full on, we're just going, and I looked over and I saw on the bar a woman covered in mustard and a guy licking his way up her body. And I was like, this is a weird job. I mean, it was just insane. But I guess this season I really loved doing the scene in Merlotte's office where I was looking at the wedding video. Yeah, it was such a lovely scene on many levels because we had already we had to shoot the wedding footage first, and we shot it like you would shoot a wedding video. I mean, it was very loose, and we just had a little camcorder, and it was just kind of fun to go back and see what Arlene and Terry's wedding would be like, especially since Arlene was hugely pregnant. So that was fun. And then to sit in the office and watch that and connect with that and think about, the 5 years that I've been on the show with Todd, and, think about my own marriage. And it was just like a really great way to connect into that scene. So it was special. And I love working with Lauren, who plays Holly. So. What about the gun? Oh, sure. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, my favorite line ever that I've ever gotten to say on True Blood, don't move, motherfucker, I will blow your fucking brains
out. My favorite scene was the Ace Burger scene in season 1, where I had to pull out a cannibal bass on the rednecks. And it was just a wonderfully written scene.
Carol.
Yes, hi. My question is pretty much for everybody up there. I'm over here. Hi. But we're going to start with Joe. Of all the roles you've played thus far, what is your dream role to play in the future?
Oh, geez. Dream role in the future. Well, I mean, growing up as a kid, like, you know, people ask me, oh, did you want to be an actor growing up? And no, I mean, I wanted to be Indiana Jones. You know, that was what I wanted to be when I was a kid. I wanted to be Han Solo. You know, I don't want to be an actor. Like, I wanted planets to start fighting against each other, and I wanted to go out and smuggle shit and get in trouble and, you know, fight the Empire. You know, that was what I wanted to do. And I wanted to go find treasure and, you know, shoot swordmen in the face, and, you know, so I think probably something along those lines, you know, action and adventure. Growing up as a kid, I was obsessed with Arnold Schwarzenegger and all my friends, and we used to talk to each other like Arnold all day, every day. And I'm prepping right now to do a movie with Arnold. So yeah, it's gonna be great. And actually, I'm coming back to Atlanta for 3 months to shoot that movie. I'll be at Mary Mac's Tea Room if you need me. So, you know, it's all a long schedule. I think if you gave me a pad and a pen in 10 years to write a bucket list of stuff that I want, I would never be able to come up with all the things that are happening to me right now. So I'm very happy. I love being on this show. I couldn't have dreamed up a better show, a better character. I couldn't have imagined having as much fun as I did playing a male stripper. It's probably the most fun I think I've ever had in my entire life. So, you know, a lot of times, you know, you try to come up with this list of things that you want, but for me, you know, life has far exceeded, you know, anything I could have come up with. My bucket list is just, it's obliterated at this point, so.
Yeah, it's a tough question because you know, things come up that you could never. I just did a part that where I got to play this sort of meth addict, alcoholic, awful guy, and it was so much fun. Like, you know, and I would never have imagined that part. But I think, you know, I've always, you know, just as far as plays go, I've always wanted to do the Seagull and do some Chekhov, which I've never gotten to do. And I'd also, you know, I'd like to do some comedy at some point after this. I mean, I love, you know, the same with Joe. I mean, we're all so lucky to be on the show, and my part is incredible. But I think I'd like to maybe to do some comedy after this.
I mean, it's really true. You can't dream up a role that you know, that you can't just like manifest it. Well, he did. He manifested it. You came up, you wanted to be a werewolf, and you just said it, and it happened. But you know, you get the gift of roles that, you know, you never would have thought. Like, I like this. I have this recurring role on The Good Wife, and it's just such an amazing character, and I would have never thought it up, you know. But as far as the things that are already in the world, the canon or whatever, I guess I should play Blanche Dubois before I get too old. Yeah, so that would be the one. Yeah. Yes, I need a Stanley, so there we go. Here we go. Got any producers out there?
I want to play Nat King Cole. It is my dream role to play. So yeah, I'm gonna manifest it.
Would you want to sing if you were in that role? Would you want to sing if you were being Nat King Cole?
Yeah. I mean, I can't sing, but you know, there are ways to fix the voice to make it seem like. Yeah, I'll have Sam a little bit. You can sing, Sam?
Me? No.
Sheila.
My question is for Joe. Last year you talked about how roles made for life, but now Debbie's dead. How is that going to affect your romantic interests?
Well, that's an interesting question. It almost happened with Sookie, but she couldn't hold her peach schnapps. So maybe we could try it again after she's ate like a half a loaf of bread or something. And then there's the whole Ricky thing. But speaking of mating for life, I mean, you know, you ask somebody to be your girlfriend and they say, maybe. Not exactly the answer you want to hear, you know? Kind of when people say, I love you, and they go, mm-hmm. So, I don't know, we'll see. You know, maybe she'll come around, maybe there's somebody, I don't know. You know, I think being a pack master of a group of wolves, being the alpha wolf, I'd imagine you have options. Certainly in the books, in Charlene's books, when you win the Packmaster competition, they just bring a she-wolf out for you to get it on with. So, you know, I'm wondering, you know, I was talking to Sam yesterday, I'm like, what's the day-to-day of a Packmaster, you know? Like, wake up, get it on, eat some breakfast, get it on again, eat some lunch, get it on. So, I don't know, you know? I'm going to sit down with a couple writers next week and find out what they've got in store for season 6, and hopefully it's a lot of getting it on.
Carol.
Hi. It seems like a lot of the American actors have actual Southern roots. Is that just a coincidence, or is that something the producers were actually looking for?
I'm from Pittsburgh, so go Steelers.
I think it's a coincidence. Who we got? The three of us, because we got Georgia, Alabama, or Mississippi. Alabama. That's where my sister went to college. Roll Tide. And then I'm from Louisiana, LSU. Yeah, I think it's. Is there anybody else? Oh, Alan Ball's from Georgia. Yeah. And Todd from Texas. Jim Parrick's is from Texas, right? Who else? And then everybody else is from Europe and Pittsburgh. But I think it was just a coincidence. Just like my name and the name and the character. It's all coincidence, yeah.
Sheila.
My question is for Joe. I'm a freshman in high school, and I'm 6'3", and I go through a lot of stereotyping. You know, do you play basketball? Do you, I get a lot of questions about that. So did you go through that kind of stuff in high school, and how did you deal with it?
Did I do what in high school?
Did you get stereotyped a lot, or did you get asked if you play basketball or any kind of athletic sport?
I think I get stereotyped now, to a certain extent. I mean, I think, I think, a couple years ago, before True Blood, I think, I'd have these terrible pilot seasons where, he's too big to be a lawyer, he's too athletic looking to be white collar, he's too this or too that or whatever. And after True Blood, like, my manager gets calls that they're looking for people like me. So it's like, where the hell were you like 3 years ago when I needed a job and I was starving, So, I think it's all how you wear it, I think, but I mean, being a girl that's 6'3", I mean, listen, there are guys out there 7 foot, you can wear those heels with somebody. I'm 6'5", you can throw on your heels. I think it's great. I think, the beauty of it is just be who you are and be the best you, and at some point somebody's going to notice. It might take 10 years of your career before somebody goes, that's it, but I mean, the great part about being different is that, maybe lonely at first, but when you get there, the cool thing is sometimes you're the only one, So, I mean, I don't know. I got a thing for tall girls, so don't worry about it.
Carol.
Hi there. My boyfriend and I are new True Blood fans. You guys are great. We're watching season 2. My question is for Sam. Where do shapeshifters come from?
Oh God, where do they come from? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there's a long, I sort of did a little research, and there's a long history of shapeshifters in all cultures, going way, way back, many, BC. But I think that's a really interesting question, and maybe we'll get into more of the shapeshifter mythology of the show, because we haven't really explored that. We've explored a little bit of the mythology, but how long they've been around in our world and how they started, like what are they, like the evolution of a shapeshifter? Was it breeding? Was it, I mean, how does that happen from an amoeba? I mean, But it's a cool question, and hope maybe we'll get to look into that. The writers will sort of research that, do something with it.
Hi, my question's from Nelsan. My question is from me and my friend. Do you ever improv any lines for Lafayette? And if so, could you improv one for us?
Yeah, I on occasion improv. And one line I improv was with a scene with Carrie, and it was, "I is gorgeous."
Do you remember that scene in the pilot where we were in the service alley, peaches and cream, and that whole thing where and Dawn was like slapping her ass and going, "You like it, you like it." I mean, it was about 3 a.m, and we were just insane. We became crazy people, and luckily it was early enough on that they didn't come over, the script supervisor didn't come over and say, "You can't say that," which happens a lot now, but at that time we were just playing, so all that stuff was, pretty much all that stuff was us being insane people.
Yeah, we had the whole, we had
Carol.
Hi, my original question was for Joe, but I was told I couldn't ask it, but just know that we...
I want to hear it now. I mean, I'm not saying I'll answer it, but I want to hear it.
So, my fallback question is there anything particular that you've learned from being on True Blood itself, from being an actor in the show?
Wow, anything I've learned from being on True Blood? I mean, well, yes. I mean, I think the thing that True Blood does more and bigger and badder than everything else is probably the sexual content. I don't think I never had a love scene before True Blood, and we just jumped right into that one. So I remember, having conversations like, what happens when you're naked? Like, do you have anything on, or, what do girls wear when, and so you go through that whole stuff. So I learned about the sock and the patch, and all kinds of Hong Kong wires, all kinds of stuff. What was your question before, just out of curiosity? I gotta know now. Come on.
Sheila.
My question is for Sam. Sam, I think you do such a wonderful job on the show. I think you bring such a great authenticity to the character, and
thank you.
I think we're also in season 5, you did a couple things that are my favorite Sam things. One is rolling around on the floor smelling things.
Oh, did I?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, yeah. This season when I was on the floor, and you said season 1.
Season 1, you're rolling around in the bed sniffing.
Oh yeah, that was episode 4, season 1, right.
And then the other thing is skinwalking. I know that you've touched on it a little bit, but I was just curious about like your process as acting as other people, and do your coworkers like Tommy and Luna